Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher, Chapter 20, Swapping Secrets. Why are you outside? Does your mum know you're out here? Asked William. Nope, she'd freak out if she caught me, but she's far too busy avoiding Christmas to notice anyway, Brenda explained. I just wanted to look at the other houses. They're so Christmassy. Besides, I'm in no rush to get back inside tonight. There won't be any presents waiting for me, she sniffed. Why not? Said William. What about that plan of yours at the post box? Oh yeah, that, Brenda said, kicking at the snow sheepishly. William could see that she was remembering how she'd secretly edited innocent, nice list kids' letters to Santa, adding her own address. Why did you do it? Asked William. Brenda took a deep breath. I guess that's the way I've behaved since Dad left, and Mum turning into the actual real-life Grinch. I just thought my chances of getting any Christmas presents were so slim that I had to do something about it. I'm not even sure I believe in Santa anyway, but if he does exist, then he's not an idiot. He'd have spotted my plan a mile off, Brenda sighed. I won't be getting anything tonight. He's definitely put me on that naughty list this year. Brenda sniffed hard against and swallowed the snot that had frozen up her nose from sitting in the cold so long. Well, maybe it's not Santa that puts you on the naughty list. Maybe you put yourself there, said William. Brenda instinctively tightened her fingers into a fist, ready to punch William in the nose. But that was the old Brenda. I suppose you're right. Well, you know all my secrets now, William. I think it's time you told me yours, she said, taking William by surprise. Secrets? I don't have any secrets, replied William, who suddenly realised that his biggest secret was sitting a few metres away on the other side of Brenda's gate. Oh, really? Said Brenda suspiciously. Then tell me this, Mr. Willy Poos. What are you doing wandering around the streets alone in the middle of the night on Christmas Eve? William was stumped. What could he say? How could he escape without Brenda seeing the Christmasaurus? In the middle of the night, William said in his best fake shocked voice, pretending he'd lost track of time. Oh well, we'd really better be going. We? Who's we? Asked Brenda, becoming more and more suspicious as William started backing away, wheeling himself in reverse out of Brenda's front garden. Wait, where are you going? What are you hiding? She called after him. But as William wasn't watching where he was going, he failed to see the tip of the Christmasaurus' scaly tail lying on the ground across the open gate. Roar! There was a deafening dinosaur yelp as the wheels of William's chair rolled painfully over the Christmasaurus' tail. Complete, stunned silence filled the air. Brenda took one look at the unbelievable creature in front of her. She tried to get to her feet, but whack! She fainted into the snow. When Brenda finally came to a few moments later, William was staring anxiously down at her. The Christmasaurus was licking the snow from her face. Brenda let out a scream. William, isn't that? It's a a dinosaur, William finished the word for her. Now that Brenda had seen it, he didn't think there was any reason to keep pretending. It was a Christmas present from Santa, he added proudly. Brenda couldn't believe her eyes. She looked at the dinosaur's beautiful snowflake pattern, his icy bluish scales that seemed to reflect every bit of light like diamonds. He's unbelievable, she said. I know, agreed William. He won't eat us, will he? Brenda gulped. Don't be silly, he'd never hurt us. He's my friend, said William, and the Christmasaurus raised his head with pride. And he's my secret, Brenda. No one can ever know about him. William looked at Brenda, and he could tell she saw in his eyes that he meant it. She took a look through the window at her mum, who was now flicking through hundreds of television channels, trying to find something un-Christmassy to watch. Let's shake on it, she said. You know my secret and I know yours. We'll never tell a soul. William took her hand and shook it hard. Never tell a soul, he repeated, and that was that. Well, what sort of dinosaur is he? Questioned Brenda, who was still looking a little nervous about the dinosaur in her garden. Well, it's obvious really, William realised that he didn't actually know the answer. You mean you don't even know what sort of dinosaur you're hanging around with? I thought you were supposed to know everything about dinosaurs, Brenda fired back. How did you know that I like dinosaurs? Asked William, who didn't think Brenda took any notice of him and his interests. Brenda's cheeks went a bit red and she quickly looked at the ground. Oh, I think I heard someone at school say it once. William looked at the dinosaur in the garden and realised that Brenda had a point. Why couldn't he work out what sort of dinosaur this was? That gave William an idea. I know exactly where I can find out what sort of dinosaur he is, cried William. The museum. He spun his wheelchair round to face the Christmasaurus. Want to see some other dinosaurs? He asked with a smile. The Christmasaurus jumped to attention. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. Other dinosaurs? There were more dinosaurs. He wasn't the only one after all. He quickly nodded, desperate to see these dinosaurs William was talking about. It's not far, William said to his dinosaur friend. Then he turned to Brenda. Do you want to come with us? But Brenda didn't say anything. Her face went white. She was staring straight into her front room at her mother, who was staring straight at the dinosaur in the garden. Suddenly the face at the window disappeared and moved towards the front door. Quickly, we need to hide him, said Brenda, as her mother's footsteps came stomping down the hallway just on the other side of the door. The Christmasaurus jumped back, tripped over William, and fell into Brenda's stack of perfect snowballs. He quickly jumped to his feet with a pile of powdery snow on his head. William had an idea. Quickly, cover him in snow, he hissed, hearing the rattling sound of Brenda's mum turning the lock behind him. Brenda and William scooped as much snow in their hands as they could and threw over the snowflake-patterned scales of the dinosaur in the garden. Hold still, dinosaur, William whispered frantically, patting down the snow. Brenda took off her scarf and wrapped it round the dinosaur's thick, snow-covered neck, just as her mum opened the door. What's all this? Said a very unmerry voice from the doorway. Hello, Miss Brenda's mum, stuttered William nervously. It's Miss Payne. What are you doing in my garden? It's the middle of the night, Miss Payne said sharply as she scanned the garden, looking for the unbelievable creature she'd seen through the window. I thought I saw... William was just making a snowman, Mum. See, said Brenda, gesturing towards the lumpy, snow-covered dinosaur, who now looked like an extremely poorly made snowman. Miss Payne stared intently at their so-called snowman, looking up and down, and just as she opened her mouth to say something, she stopped. Her eyes were staring straight into the dinosaur's ice-blue eyes that were gleaming out mesmerisingly from the snow. That's when William saw it. Brenda did too. That little reluctant smile in the corner of Miss Payne's mouth, just like Brenda's. William couldn't help but think her cold heart had thawed just a little. Well, that's enough of that, Miss Payne snapped. Brenda, inside, now. Brenda marched into her house, and William heard her footsteps running up the stairs. And you, it's William, Miss Payne. Go home at once, she ordered. Of course, Merry Christmas, William said with a smile. He wheeled himself out of Brenda's front gate into the street, giving the snowman a little wink on the way. The second William heard Miss Payne close the front door, he turned back and waited for the Christmasaurus, who was already shaking off his snowy disguise. Phew, that was close, William said as he looped the fairy lights and tinsel round the dinosaur's head again. Ready to see some dinosaurs? The Christmasaurus let out a quiet but excited roar. Woolly-poos, a small voice called out. William looked up to see Brenda sneakily calling down from her bedroom window. I owe you big time, she called down. If you ever need anything, you know where you can find me. With that, Brenda closed her window and disappeared inside her unchristmassy house. William couldn't believe his ears, Becoming friends with Brenda Payne was certainly the last thing he ever thought would happen this Christmas. Then he remembered he was sitting behind a real dinosaur on their way to his favourite place in the world, and he couldn't help but think this just might be the best Christmas ever.